Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, a little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast, and it's Saturday night, and I'm sitting here with you. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day, but I decided to do this topic. I thought about doing this topic actually before with you, even years ago, because this topic has been a real thing for years. But while it's been a topic for years, I feel like because of what's recently happened in the news that we might want to talk about that topic more today. And that is Americans converting. Why do you care? Because Americans have been converting to either evangelical Christianity and then shifting from that away from that because of other reasons we'll discuss, into actually Orthodoxy and Catholicism, or into Islam. And this has been happening across the world, but heavily in America. Why would I even bring that up? Because this phenomenon shows something. It's not just young men. It's women too. In fact, most Islamic converts are women, not men. You might go, what? That sounds insane. Nope, I'm going to show you some receipts. And I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain why too. Not just that. The huge push of evangelicals, well, it has been very common, obviously, in the last couple of years. In addition to that, even that hasn't been good enough. And people have been leaving the evangelical space for Catholicism and for Orthodoxy. Well, wait a minute, Larry. I've heard 1,000,000 times that religion in America is going down. That's true. That's accurate. So if more people are either going non-religious, what's happening? What is going on? Here's what's going on. The mainstream Protestant church is being devastated. That's what's happening. The mainstream Protestant church is being devastated. That's the group that's getting destroyed. People are leaving the mainstream Protestant church all day and all night. And they're either going to nothing, atheism, evangelicalism, Islam, or after they shift into evangelical, then they tend to shift into Orthodoxy or into Catholicism. They usually don't go Protestant to Catholic. There's a pipeline. There's a evangelical Catholic, evangelical Orthodox pipeline that's happening right now here in America. And you might go, wait a minute, Larry, that doesn't seem like what's happening in America. It is. And the reason why it's concern is you're watching people who are broken try to find something. And if they find it, good. If they don't find it, then we get what happened on New Year's Day. Then we get those attacks we got in New Orleans and in it's Vegas, right? Yeah, Vegas. Yes. That's what we get. If we don't do it right, that's what we get. Now you might go, wait a minute, Larry. So how are we going to fix this? Well, number one issue. This is our fault. Let me say it again. This is our fault. The war on drugs and the war on terror is what's making this happen. Our war on ourselves is making this happen. Our destruction of our own culture, our breakdown of community is what's making this happen. The local Protestant church is no longer the center of a community anymore. It isn't. But an evangelical church? Maybe. A mosque? A masjid? Maybe. Yes, they sometimes actually are, because they provide the structure that people are looking for. And let me show you. I have a bunch of things I want to show you, so you don't think I'm just making stuff up. I mean, I'm not, but anyway, I do want to, if I could. Oops, sorry about that. I do want to, if I could, show you a couple of things. Where did I go? There it is. Okay, I have found it. I didn't want to hit that. I'm going to present something. It's a gentleman who's talking about the decline in mainstream churches. Just so you see, it's not just me saying it. Then I'm going to give you some details in a minute. But here we go.
These Protestant churches are in likelihood part of what are called mainline churches. The mainline was at one time the mainstream in America, but today, if you were to walk inside on a Sunday morning, the statistics tell us that the odds are good you'll find a small, aging congregation holding onto their oversized, aging building. The second scenario is that where you live, things have gone even further. The congregation died off in the last decade, and today the building sits empty or has been taken over by a younger church, likely an evangelical congregation, not part of a mainline denomination, or perhaps not part of a denomination at all. Or maybe it's been turned into apartments or even a bar. The number of professing Christians in America is declining. In September 2022, Pew Research Center modeled that by 2070, Christianity will almost certainly be the religion of less than 50% of the U.S. population. In the UK, where a 2021 census revealed that Christianity is already a minority in England and Wales, with only 46.2% claiming it, churches often find their strongest hope to be fervently practicing immigrant populations, which provide new life and new children to declining congregations. The same thing seems likely in the United States, where from 2010 to 2015, a majority of immigrants have been Christian. But when talking about the decline of Christianity in America, it's important to note that things are not the same across all Christian traditions. For an extreme example, look at the Amish. In 2000, there were approximately 178,000 of them. One decade later, in 2010, the number became 241,000. In 2022, the estimate was 373,000.
More people are becoming Amish. Do you understand how broken our society is? The amount of people I hear all the time is, I'm going to go off grid. Well, there they go. You could just go to the Amish, already off the grid. You're good. Off the grid, made for you. You're going there. In today's world of technology, the Amish are growing, right? The Amish are growing.
3,000. Amish double in number about every 20 years. If that continues, the Amish will begin to pass up many of these declining mainline denominations very quickly. In fact, they already have been doing so. One of the most common ways to look at the mainline is the Seven Sisters.
All right, I'm going to back off of that part. That's all I wanted to show you. But that's the one to bring up. This is not something I'm just making up here. This is something I've been talking about for a long time. It is important, and our society is failing. That's what I'm saying. Our society is absolutely failing, and it's an embarrassment. We should not be. We definitely should not be. Anyway, the next piece I want to bring up is, all right, so while that's happening, there's another piece. Why? Okay, why would that happen? Let me, if I could, pop up one more piece. I do want to pop up one more piece, and that is, this is a guy talking about why he decided to become Catholic. Catholic? Yes, he decided to become Catholic. All right.
What drew me in wasn't just the church's teachings, although they were profound. It was the stories of self-sacrifice, Catholic priests and saints who lived their faith with extraordinary courage.
This is the piece I want to bring up, because as I mentioned, in the case of Islam, more women are moving towards Islam, almost 4-to-1 than men. Yes, and that's in America. Across the world, same thing. But a lot more men are becoming either Catholic or Orthodox. This is more men doing it. And more white men, by the way, and this is white women too in Islam. When it comes to Islamic men, heavily more black men become Muslim, and more white women become Muslim. I know, but that's just what it is. It seems odd, right? But yes. So if you see a Muslim boyfriend and girlfriend, it could be a black man and a white woman, both Muslims. I know. Any case, this guy's talking about Catholicism. Why? He simply says, sacrifice and courage. It is the idea that men are looking to find something of masculinity. They're trying to find something strong. And mainstream Protestant churches, if you're part of it, no need to be an insult, I'm just being very forward, don't provide that. It's clear. Again, this is not my opinion. It is clear they don't provide that for men. If they did, men would stay. The Protestant church is constantly changing, mainstream, constantly changing, constantly being more open, all the things that a lot of men who are lost don't want that. They want this. Men who are lost want this, and we are losing our men. This is what I was talking about the last 2-3 shows. I've been talking about losing men. They're going here.
Take Father Damien, who served a leper colony knowing full well he'd contract the disease himself.
Yes.
Or Father Maximilian Kolbe, who volunteered to take another man's place in Auschwitz, sacrificing his own life. These weren't just abstract tales, they were
This is why he
gritty,
did it.
real examples of faith in action.
Now I'm going to move to the next piece from this. Ideas of faith in action. We're having another piece that's happening here in America. And we saw it already recently. We saw it. It is American military members, particularly soldiers, converting to Islam. What? Why would American soldiers be converting to Islam? Military men, all men, but of course military men, respect, sacrifice, and courage, and they don't care why. Let me say that again. And for some of you that think I'm nuts, they don't care why. They respect sacrifice and courage, even if the reason for the sacrifice or courage is a terrible reason. Even if that, they don't care. Why do you think so many of them like the Reich that is third? Why do they like the fascists from Germany in 1930s? Why do so many men like it? The look, the power. They like it. The fanaticism. So many, particularly young men. You think that's terrible. It's one of the worst. Yes, it's terrible. It's the worst. And people still, young men still follow it. They will. Now, why do I use that? Because now they go over to Afghanistan. And what do they see? A Taliban that will never stop. A Taliban that will sacrifice themselves all day long. A Taliban that will do the special type of attack to which no one survives. They will do that. A Taliban that no matter what will strike and attack under any circumstances. Bravery, courage, sacrifice. I'm not saying you should be the Taliban. Clearly, I'm not. I'm telling you men can see that and will look for it. Now, if you have that in yourself already, if you believe in your system and your culture already, you are immune to that. Because you believe in your system, you believe in your culture. You have enough people in your life with your own tales of sacrifice, your own tales of courage, your own local heroes of people who you love and respect. You're immune to that. Whatever, stupid Taliban, stupid funny mustache fascists, they're dumb. You're immune. But when you don't have that, you're not immune. What's the old saying? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So they see that and go, maybe these guys are right. Larry, you're crazy. No, that's true. No, that's true. They go, maybe these guys are right. Maybe they have a point. Why would they be doing that? Maybe I should. That's what begins to happen. And what we're seeing happening, because we don't have that here. Now, I look at myself when I was 17. I was lost. No doubt. I was lost. And I thought I knew everything. 17 years old, thought I knew everything and knew nothing. But I thought I knew everything. I joined the Marine Corps and I was absorbed by the Marine Corps. Marine Corps saved my life. I proudly wear my tattoo every day. I got that in the Marine Corps. That little thing over there, my rank over there. Yep, every day. Marine Corps emblem. Saved my life. No doubt. When I was a Marine, it was very easy for me to understand because I had structure, I had purpose, I knew what I was doing, I knew who was right and who was wrong. Very easy. When that began to break as I got older, that's when I left. But I get it. I absorbed it. I would have done whatever they told me to do. I would have sacrificed my life voluntarily. No one would have had to order me. I would have ordered men to their death, and I would have rushed to my death voluntarily without thinking twice. I would have killed people or been killed or ordered men to kill people. All of those, I would have done all of those things without hesitation. I know I would have done that. You see people doing it now. What did the guy from the Tesla event, one of the things he mentioned, He was talking about repent for the people who he had deleted. I'm on YouTube. I got to say certain words. Yes. And now he began to respect those people. Yeah. That's an issue. When we're losing it, it's making things worse. And I said, well, why are people going to Catholics versus evangelical? Well, they're also going to Eastern Orthodox. They're also going to Eastern Orthodox, not just evangelical, also Eastern Orthodox. Why? I'm going to cover that with a little piece right now, a little bit of that right now too, if we go to a little bit of this, which I think this is super interesting.
Post ran an article recently entitled "Young Men Leaving Traditional Churches for..."
By the way, this is December 3rd, 2024. This is a month ago.
Masculine Orthodox Christianity in droves. It quotes a survey of Orthodox churches throughout the United States that notes a 78% increase in converts in 2000.
Let's be clear. Orthodox Church. I know I'm guilty. I'm a convert also. I'm also a member of Orthodox Church. So I'm part of this. I'm part of this. Number of converts from 2013 to 2023 and how they grew, right? 70% increase. And if you're Orthodox, we don't convert. We don't go out there and grab people. We don't do that. Not at all. We just we're who we are. You want to come, you come. You don't come. We don't need you. That's how Orthodox are. We're not out there converting people. That's not what we do. If you're Orthodox, you know what I'm talking about. We don't go converting. Not a thing. 70% increase. 70% increase and not even trying. Like not trying and seeing that. That's the crazy part. Not even trying and it's growing. Now, this also affects our foreign policy. Why? What's the current center of Eastern Orthodox Christianity? Used to be Constantinople, used to be Istanbul, used to be Greek. Yep. And before that, it used to be the Middle East, Coptic Christians in Egypt. No, now it's Russia. St. Petersburg was built to be the new capital of the Eastern Orthodox Church. And they still are. They're the capital of the Eastern Orthodox world. Serbians, Russians, some Poles, most Poles are Catholics, but some Poles, many are Ukrainians, they're Eastern Orthodox. So it affects how we think about even other countries. Look at that. Is that nuts? That's absolutely insane.
2022 compared with pre-pandemic levels in 2019. And the article also discusses a few other trends. One of them is it's mostly men, especially young men who are,
as I just said, young men. This is what I'm talking about.
being drawn into Eastern Orthodoxy. And also the other thing is it's not slowing down. This is actually on the rise right now. I don't think this trend is going away. This is something we have to think about.
Now, why is he worried? Why is this guy worried? Because he's an evangelical pastor. He is losing his young men. They're leaving evangelical and they're going to Orthodox. He's worried. He's like, this is my people. You taking my people. No.
Now, the goal of this video is not to give criticism of Eastern Orthodoxy or a detailed analysis of their theology or something like that. I've done that in various other videos on certain issues like icon veneration, one big video a while back.
So what I want to go is, remember, this guy talks, his sponsorship is an Orthodox thing, is an evangelical thing. He is literally evangelical. Let me keep going. Oh, hold on.
All right, let's dive in and work through these three questions. First of all, why is this happening? Now, of course, every single conversion is different, but the article that I just referenced draws attention to three factors that are often at play. And it was so fascinating reading this article because it was so similar to conversations I've had, even down to the very wording.
See, he is having the same conversations. This is not something I'm making up.
Was saying things that I've felt and articulated. I'm realizing, it's not just me who's seeing this trend right now. Three factors it draws attention to for why this is happening. Number one is the search for stability.
Stability.
Okay? People are hungry for tradition and rootedness and groundedness.
And this is what, whether you like religion or not, whatever you think, the thing that people want when you're lost. Again, if you're not lost, you don't require, you're immune to this. This is nice. You look and go, great, whatever. If people aren't lost, they tend to stay in the religion that they're raised in. Usually, it's not 100% rule out, but most people do if they're not lost. You tend to stay. If you're raised Protestant, you stay Protestant, Catholic, you stay Catholic, whatever. Orthodox, Orthodox. That's what normally happens, right? You change when you're feeling lost or broken or something's wrong or whatever. That's when you begin to change. That's the issue. This is his point. People now feel like there's no stability. They feel like the system doesn't work for them, and they thought it did. It doesn't. Well, one thing Orthodox Christianity does is it's got a whole lot of stability. You will do this when I tell you how you do it. Yes. So does Islam. Islam, the same thing. Lots of do this, do that, do this, do that. Yes. It provides stability for young men because we don't provide it for them. We have fatherless households, no stability, and then masculinity is considered toxic in most cases, but not here, not in religion, not at all. They want extra masculinity in religion, extra. Got to add that stuff on top. You're not going to have a female. You're not going to have a female priest in Orthodoxy. Nope. Why? Because rules. That's the reason. Because rules. And when you're a young man searching, because rules is amazing. I know some of you think that sounds crazy. No. When you're a young, lost man, cuz rules, yes, that's exactly what I want to hear. Cuz rules. That's what I want to hear. And then they go.
People want something that isn't changing, something that feels permanent, like you're standing on a rock amidst the sea changes of the world. Everything about the world feels chaotic right now. And so people are aching for a sense of stability. And Eastern Orthodoxy powerfully appeals to that need in the human heart. Even if we reject the thesis of them as a changeless church, that's what I've argued against, nonetheless, they do have this powerful sense of connection to the past, and people notice this. One convert interviewed in the article said this: the hard thing about growing up in my church, that was an Anglican church, is that there was a lot of change even in my lifetime. Here's this: I realized that there really was no way to stop the change. Now
that part is so important because they don't actually want to stop the change. That's not really true. I'm going to be very forward. We actually don't mind change. Humans don't mind change. And people say, don't, no, of course we do. We change all the time. We change all the time. We want to control the change. We don't mind change. Humans change all that. We do things differently, whatever. We go to a different store, have different partners, have different jobs. We change, move. We change all the time. It isn't change. It is control of change. And they feel like they have no control of the change. And they're right. I've been preaching this for 7 years. We have no control of a change in our system. We have no control in the change in our culture. We have no control and change on our government. The elites control everything, and we just get pushed around. I've been saying it forever. Our government, our leaders do not give a crap about us at all, and our desire for what we want to change is that nothing. And when we come home and we fought for that system, but then we saw a system over there, and we saw, and I know some of you don't like this because you don't like what's happening over there, and I get it. I'm not judging it. I'm telling you what's happening. They see the Taliban. They see those people making things, doing things, controlling in their minds, compared to them having no power to go, these guys are right. I want to join them. They got the right idea. I got the wrong idea. I'm the schlub. I'm the idiot. What am I doing? I come home. I'm divorced. I can't get a good job. I'm broke. I'm disrespected. Those guys over there in Afghanistan, they were right. That's what you start thinking. And you can see that's what happened. You can see that's what happened. The idea of, and you hear it all the time, I know it's trite, but it's still true. The idea of if you work hard and follow the rules, you'll get ahead. Young men particularly want to hear that. They want to believe it. Islam says that. Orthodox Christianity says that. Catholicism says that. And they go, I'm in. I'm in. Yes, I'm in. Now, why is evangelical? Why are they leaving evangelical? Because a lot of evangelicals have adopted the prosperity gospel. Some of you may not know what that is. I'll explain that right now. The prosperity gospel is the cool, well-dressed preacher who yells and screams about stuff and tells you to give money. Now, that's still popular. People still love that. People still love that. Now, if you're evangelical and you're not prosperity gospel, you're probably still growing, right? Because you're not prosperity gospel. You're actually talking about, biblical issues and you're very aggressive. Yes. But if you are someone who's prosperity gospel, yeah, just give me more money and pray for stuff and God gives you money. That's what prosperity gospel is. Some of you may or may not like that. I'm just telling you it's what it is, right? The Joel Osteens of the world. Just give more money and you'll get money, right? That's prosperity gospel. They're actually losing converts. They're losing people. They're leaving because the people went there thinking this was the real thing. This is a movement. I'm part of something. And they went, this guy just wants my cash. Oh, okay. No. Where am I going? All right. I'm going to go to the Catholics or I'm going to go to the Orthodox. That's the pipeline. The pipeline is mainstream Protestantism to evangelical. If it's non-prosperity evangelical, they get attacked, and it's whatever they get attracted to. The individual, he says it on TV, his friend, he sees it on the video, whatever. That does the guy get? Which one of the evangelicals does he get? Does he get a non-prosperity gospel? He'll probably stay. Does he get prosperity gospel? No, he's going Orthodox or Catholicism in a couple of years. That's what he's doing. That's the pipeline that's happening right now in America. Or he goes Islam. Now, Islam is growing with men, but not as fast, mostly women. It's also growing with men, though. And where? Prison. 80% of all converts in prison are to Islam. 80% Islam. It's growing in prisons. Men who go to jail or convert to Islam like there's no tomorrow. White and black, but heavily black. But white and black, but heavily black. That's what's happening right now in prison. So we got a war on terror that's allowing broken men that we break because we send them overseas and we break them. When they come back, we ignore them. So we're showing them the strength, or not strength, that's the wrong word, the courage. We're showing them the courage and the sacrifice of Islamic Muslim men, who many of them are fundamentalist, not all, but many of them are. And then they come home and they're broken, and we wonder why they convert. And again, in our military, it's the fastest conversion is to Islam. That's the fastest conversion. The American military is to Islam. And in the country, the fastest conversion is not to evangelical, it's to Islam. It's the fastest growing religion in the world. In the world, fastest growing religion. Now, some of that is because of population, but not all. The average birth rate of the Muslim world is about 2.6. The average of the Christian world is about 2.3, 2.4. It's only up by a little bit. But by 2070, if things keep going, Islam will be the major religion in the planet. And a lot of that's because of conversions. Some of that's from birth rate, obviously. There is a larger birth rate when it comes to Islamic countries and Muslims in general than when it comes to Christians. It's true. However, it isn't just that. It's conversions. People are becoming Muslim because they want that thing, that stability, something. They're either going, the problem is if you still are a Christian, you tend to stay within Christianity. But if you're not a strong Christian, you're okay, you're open to go to Islam because you weren't a strong Christian. If you're a strong Christian, you tend to move towards evangelical, and then either you're happy there. If it's prosperity, you shift off of that eventually, and you either go to Orthodox or you go to Catholicism. That's what's happening right now, right? That's what's happening right now. So I'm gonna grab a couple comments. I do want to go. Let me grab a couple comments, and then I'm going to go to Islam. I know I spent a lot of time on Christianity, I'm spent some time on Islam too, but I'll do a couple. I'm looking over at Rumble. Joel says, my friend gets mad when I tell him his religion is the fastest growing religion. He's an atheist. It's not a religion, he says. That's good. Yes. But it's not the fastest growing, actually. It is the idea of either being non-religious in America is growing. That's true. That's true, but not across the world. Across the world, Islam is the fastest across the world. In America, yes, non-religious is actually the fastest growing. So reality, the percentage of Christians and Protestants in America is going down. That's true. I think 55% of Americans like 5 years ago were Protestant, not 51% of Protestant, something like that. But my point is, within that Protestantism, a huge chunk are going to evangelical. And then of all Christians, the number is going down, but more of them are moving into Orthodox and into Catholicism. You heard that one guy say that the Orthodox Christianity is getting a 70% increase. So are Catholics. It's between 30 and 70%, depending upon where you are, an average of 50% increase in converts. So Catholicism, 50% increase in converts. Orthodox, 70% increase in converts. That's what's happening. Why? People are lost. So yes, yeah, absolutely. Texan Spy Historian says, me and my fiance are converting to Eastern Orthodox. Yes, I did already. So yes, I'm not making this up. That's off a Rumble. It's happening everywhere. Yes, it's happening everywhere. Vivek says it's because everything seems broken and social media algorithms are radicalizing you. No, Vivek, please look, this is my biggest problem. I haven't even gone to Islam yet, but my biggest problem is what you just said. People are going to say that. Social media. And here is the government's answer. It's the government's fault for this. The government's war on terror is exposing our military, breaking our men and exposing them to radicalize Islam. Our war on drugs is throwing men in prison by the millions. Let me repeat that. By the millions, to where they're converting to Islam also, and evangelicals, both, by the millions. This is the government's fault, as always, and because the government is breaking us up so that our wealth gap is so horribly broken that men feel broken in general, are searching for something, and the government can't give them anything except be meaner, be nastier. That's all it does. Punishment, punishment, punishment. There's no glory, and masculinity is evil, and everything is about diversity and inclusion. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you demonize the person who doesn't want it as an ist or a phobe, at one point men go, stop. I don't want, you know what? And it sounds horrible, but this literally happens. Stop. I'm going to go rent a car and do things. And I'm going to end myself in a blaze of glory. Fucking stop. It's happening. We're watching it. And what are they going to tell you? Vivek, more security. We have to control social media. We got to censor people. That's going to be their answer, which will only make things worse. The answer, as I've been saying this whole week, and it's been coming true, fix our broken men, and this becomes irrelevant. Just fix our broken men, and it becomes irrelevant. That's the issue. Just do that. I know that's hard, but that's the answer. Pinkerell gets it. It makes sense to me, she says, because Americans are searching for community. 100%. Yes. Infinite Oneness, thank you for the $5 super chat. Islam attracts people / men looking to align with powerful ideal or invincibility. Its religion started with people who were powerless and gained power. Valid point. And you know what? I'm going to go to a piece. You gave me the perfect reason to go here. So thank you for that, Infinite Oneness. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $5 too. By the way, before I step onto this, guys, if you haven't clicked the like button, I can see some of you have not. Why not? Hundreds of you are watching across 8 platforms. I can see hundreds of you are watching across all these platforms. Click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. It does matter. You notice I'm going to get shadow banned for this. I can't say this stuff. You know they're going to. So help me out. Whoops. Just dropped my earpiece. Help me out. Please do that. Share this and repost this right now. It does matter. Please do so. Put it into a Facebook group. Share it on X. Repost it on X. Share it on Facebook. Whatever the case may be. Share it on your specific page. It does matter. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Right? Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you click all notifications when you subscribe so you get notifications. It does matter. Follow me on Facebook, X, and Rumble. Follow me on all of them. Click the follow, but even if you're on Rumble, go on Rumble and follow me. It does matter. Every bit counts. It does matter. Super chat me if you want to, like Infinite Oneness did. You can do that if you want to. That's always good. You can also rant me if you want to on Rumble. You can become a member if you haven't become a member. I try to grab members first if I can. $4.99 per month. Click the join button on either Sharpe Way or Live with Sharpe, or do it on Rumble if you like. Click that subscribe button. It does matter. I'm asking you to do this so I can keep doing shows like this. I know no one else is talking about this. I look, no one else is. They're sitting there going, we got to censor social media, or we need, where was the security? Shit like that, that means nothing. The center of this is broken men. Strong men are immune to this. If you are in your life right now, happy living your life right now, this is just stuff I'm telling you. You're like, yeah, I get it, whatever. You're not converting. You don't care. You don't care. And there's the issue. So please click the button known as like. Let me grab one more if I could. Thank you for the $5. No one converts to Islam wanting physical things. This is true. You're right. If you just want physical things, the American culture is fine for you. You're totally correct. If American culture is fine for you. Or you go prosperity gospel. Prosperity gospel is all about things. So you go prosperity gospel, or you just keep American culture. I completely agree with you. Totally right. Islam talks about life after death. The pull is infinite for a man because brotherhood is self. Brotherhood part also does count. You're right. Now, that's what this guy saw a video, guy in prison talked about that. He talked about when you're in prison, a lot of people who go to prison don't have connections, particularly male connections. One of the reasons why they're in prison, don't have fathers. Islam, the brotherhood within the prison system creates that brotherhood. It's very true. So yeah. So with that in mind, let me now go. This is talking about people converting Islam. I'm moving to Islam now. I did a bunch about Christianity. Let me grab a little bit of Islam now for this. Alrighty.
One of the primary reasons behind this trend is a search for meaning and spirituality that many find within Islam. For some, Islam offers a clear structure for life, straightforward teachings, and a strong ethical system that feels relevant in the context of modern life.
Now, that's the same thing the guy said about Orthodox Christianity. This is the same thing the guy said about evangelicalism. It's the same problem. It's the same thing. I'm looking for something. And did I get exposed to evangelicalism? Did I get exposed to Islam? Well, if I went to prison, I got exposed to Islam, particularly from a black man. I got exposed to Islam, guaranteed. I'm not trying to be racist. That's just the reality of life. That's how it works. If I'm a military guy and I was in Afghanistan or Iraq, I got exposed to Islam. I did, right? If I live, say, in the South, I probably got exposed to evangelicalism. So what did I get exposed to that's going to give me the thing that I'm looking for, right? Now, it doesn't only happen with people who are searching for something. It does, obviously. But there's a second piece to this, too. It's people making a shift into a new part of life, and they want some structure. You will hear lots of people say, once I got married, I decided to go to church. Once my mom died, I decided to go to church. Once my happened, I decided to go to church. And what did they go to? The old church didn't work for them because they weren't going to it. So the old ways weren't working. It didn't give them the structure they required. And then when something bad happened in their life or something new happens, they want something new to keep them together. They may want a new community. To Pickerbell's point, they want a new community. So what do they do? New church. Again, what are they exposed to? Are they exposed to Islam? It could be a new masjid. Are they exposed to Christianity, Orthodox, or Evangelical, or Catholic? You might say, but wait a minute, don't we want churches to change and shift with society? And don't we want them to be inclusive and universal? Clearly, no. Not my opinion. The data shows it. Clearly, no. If your religion, whatever it is going to be very inclusive and open and everything, people are leaving it. Just hang out in life. What you need the religion for? Just hang out with life then. You don't need it. If it's going to be like that, people who want to go to church want there to be something there that is going to say, don't do this or don't do that or act this way or act that way. They want it. That's why they go. They want it. So the answer to your question, if you're asking, would be no. You would not want that. That's not going to work. Absolutely. So I wanted to bring that piece up because it was exactly the same. But here is something about women converting to Islam. And again, one would think in theory, women to Islam. Are you nuts? Islam makes you cover. Islam doesn't, treats their women bad. Right? Why would they? What's crazy? That's not what women are saying. I'm going to give you two separate things, which I think might make you think. I hope it will, at least. Oh, hold on. I do have to make sure that I am adding. I do have to add the sound here. I apologize. Sometimes forget to add the sound. Listen to this one.
UK, conversion to Islam amongst women is double that of men. In America, it's 4 times as much.
Did you hear that? 4 to 1. And this is just last year. This is a video from last year. Not like 20 years. Last year. Women. Why are women doing it? I'm going to tell you why they're actually doing it. Because the men are broken. Because the men are broken. So they're not finding the men they want because they're broken. They checked out. If you've converted to Islam, you have not checked out. That's all I'm telling you. I'm not saying you should convert to Islam, but I'm just making it. If you've converted to Islam, you're not checking out. You're checking in. If you've converted to evangelical, you're checking in. You're not checking out. You're doing the opposite. Right? All the people who call themselves atheists or whatever, they're checking out. They're the 8 million neat men who've checked out. If you converted, you checked in. A woman wants a man who's not checked out. They're going here to find Muslim men. I know it sounds crazy.
Islam says that women should wear hijab. Isn't this an oppression?
Women who convert to Islam and then they adopt the hijab, they often report that for the first time, they were treated with a respect and a dignity that they never experienced before.
And you're going to think this is weird, but I know this from experience. One of my girlfriends, several years back, clearly before I was married. So several years back, I never had a girlfriend when I was married. That's not a thing. So yeah, prior to that, I had a girlfriend who was, she was a Black Muslim. And before she met me, she covered. And here or there, she would still cover sometimes. She would still work. And it's true. People actually respected her. I know it sounded weird. It seems odd. But this is actually true. Like she liked it. Now I'm not saying it's everybody, I'm not saying you should cover. I'm not saying this. But I'm saying for women who feel a certain way, I get it. Now here's another, that was about respect. This is not about respect. This is what I just thought was interesting. I happened to see this and I thought it was interesting because the way this woman said it. Now, I'm again not judging either way. This is a woman from the UK and how she says it. She thinks very differently. This one's literally called, why are white women converting to Islam? Listen to what she has to say.
That you guys continue in your community, continue converting people, because we've all been stripped of our identity. Our youth don't have any identity. That's why they're coming to your ideology, giving them something to belong to. Plus the Western women, right? The Western women are meeting these Muslim men. These Muslim men are saying to these Western women, you are so precious. You are so important. I want no one to look upon your beauty other than me and Allah, right? This is what your men are telling our Western women.
Now, I want you to hear, how do you have to feel? How many, and please say it's the right way, women. Please say it's the right way. How do you have to feel? How many broken men have you come upon as a woman to take this and be like, yay? Oh my God, yes. How many men have you come across that were broken where you're like, I'll take this. Yep, I'm in. Let's do this. And clearly she represents a group of women who are like, yeah, I'll do it.
So I'll be your husband, right? But you'll be in the home, you'll be breeding, right? We're gonna have babies, we're gonna worship, and you're gonna cover because you're that important. So that's what you've got there. And then you've got a lot of Western men, not all of them, but a lot of Western men that are worried about what their eyebrows look like, going on sunbeds, watching the football. So what do you think is, I'm not silly here. I can see what these women are coming to. I see.
And that was my point. Broken men make women like this.
What's going on here? The natural instinct for a woman is to find a man that is going to be protective.
I just wanted to bring that piece up because I thought you guys might be interested in how women are moving towards Islam when in theory, they should not be. Right? In theory, you would think, well, I don't want to move to Islam because they're going to oppress me or whatever, right? Because we've heard this. Women are like, no, I'll take it. I'm good. Let's do it. I'll get some respect, which I'm not getting right now. Or at least they feel like they're not getting respect. Remember, I say this. To be happy, have purpose, feel respected, feel loved. Clearly, if you believe that this woman believes, if you're a woman, You believe you're not getting respect. So you believe if I put my cover on, I'm going to get respect. Everybody wants respect, so I'll cover. Fine. If that's what it takes in my life to get respect, I'll do it. I want a relationship with a man who will be masculine, who won't check out, who's not going to check out. Okay, I got a cover to get that. Okay, I'll do it. Because I've tried the other way. It doesn't work. I'm failing again and again and again. I'll take it. Okay. Think about what our community is. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I hope that concept was clear for many of you. I hope you get why I was talking about this. I hope you get why I'm bringing this up. Let me go back to getting a bunch of comments. I want to walk down this if I can. Kim says, traditional churches have proven to be highly hypocritical and is insulting to many Christians. Also true. I think you're right. Yes, I think you are correct. I think a lot of people are doing that. Kim goes on to say, the Amish community supports a survival lifestyle. Yes. Agreed. I think that's true. So, Kim, thank you for being a member, by the way. I appreciate the membership. It really does matter. Infinite Oneness, thank you for the $10. In Islam, if you convert a person, all your sins are forgiven and your place in paradise is guaranteed. A convert is made to feel like every day is your birthday. You are special to 3 years. This is very true in Islam. I've met many people who've converted. I'm with you. And I think that's very true. There is something magical about conversion and something else. Always remember, the most zealous are the converted. So the person who converts to Islam, he's the most pious. She's the most pious, right? When it comes to that. But there's something else, though. There is a concept that we see often in today's world, which is the concept, I hope I don't get canceled for saying it, J-I-H-A-D, jihad, right? That concept. That concept, a lot of men think is an amazing idea. It is a reason to sacrifice, a reason to be great, a reason to do things. You know, the Hajj, going to Mecca, it's a reason to travel. It is purpose. And Islam does that well. That's true. To be forward, so does evangelicalism if it's non-prosperity. It does that well also. So it isn't just Islam does that, but Islam does do that well. That's true. And again, if you're a young man looking for that, of course. Of course. Yes. So, yeah, and a lot of it definitely is, it depends upon what church you actually get to. So, IC says, the more we move away from the church, the farther we fall morally. Well, I think with that point, IC, is you're finding a rift in America. So we have people who are just checking out, don't care. And then people who are going more towards more church, right? They want more church, not less. Like, no, I want more. The church I have now isn't doing what I want to do, so I need more of it. And yeah. Shelley says, the Amish aren't biblically Christians, although they start out that way. Now they worship legalism, aka man-made rules, follow more than biblical rules. I have heard that, right? Because I've met, by the way, a lot of former Amish. People came Amish and then left because they were tired of like one individual deciding that he's the prophet and deciding that he's going to tell about what to do. I've heard that more than once. I don't know enough about Amish. I haven't met enough of them to know that, but yeah, I've heard that. Pickerbell says, the Amish are growing because of converts. Are the Amish growing because of converts or because less babies and children are dying early? Is it my understanding that converting is heavily discouraged, if not allowed in certain sects? Yes, in certain sects, you don't even try. The Amish don't try to convert. That's not a thing. They're not trying to convert you. They don't, I mean, the ones I've met, they don't try to convert at all. You can join them, but being on, what's that? Rumspringa, where they say, look, go out into the world. You don't like the world we have? Don't come back. And people go, no. I've been out in the world. It sucks. Can I come back? I've been out there. It sucks. Can I come back? And people come back. But something else, not because less babies are dying, because they have more children. The Amish have lots of kids. Every Amish person I've met who's married, and most of them I met are either married or too young to be married, one or the other. They all have at least 5 kids. Some have 6, 7, 8. They all have at least 5. So yeah, they have lots of children. So they just have a lot of children, and they are also gaining some converts, but not many. Most of it's just people are growing and not leaving. So the kids go out into the world and go, no, I'm heading back home. I'm good. I'm going to stay. So I think that's happening. So yes. Brian says, men never discard anything that they find useful. Ooh, I like that. I do like that. IC says Homeland series. Not just Homeland series. Another one. That one, yes. And also another one I was maybe 15 years ago, maybe even 20, called Sleeper Cell. In the Sleeper Cell series, there's several women, in fact, women who become radicalized and commit acts to where they will not live at the end. So yes, there's a lot of two, and they're all, many of them are former military. So it's very common. That one, Homeland, and also Sleeper Cell. Those two are very good. I think Sleeper Cell was better myself. I preferred it because it seemed more, it seemed more real in my eyes. But whatever. So yes. All righty. Ryan says, I became Catholic in 2011 due to me finding the apostles, the story of the saints, and the history of the church that spoke to me in ways I never heard faith be spoken before. What that guy said, Ryan, what that guy said is what you, yes, people hear it and go, I'm in. Yes, that's why it's happening. That is why it's happening. So Ryan goes on to say, I was raised Lutheran. I was too. But I really dislike the Lutherans and religious people who went to my high school. I was actively atheist from 16 to 30. I know the feeling, my friend. I do. Mike says, Larry, are you saying that ordering Uber Eats to arrive when you get home from work is not a grand achievement of the ages? Or having a woman ask you out, pay, and kick you out of bed is not masculine? Yes, Mike, I am saying that. Yes, I am saying that's not masculine. And again, if you don't want that, it's hard for you to survive with a community in America unless you find some other community somewhere, whether that's Amish that's kind of radical for the average person, but it's fine. You do you. Or is it evangelical? Or is it Islam, right? If you're going to convert to Islam, you are not going to be a middle of the road Muslim. That's not how it works. If you convert, you're going to be a hardcore Muslim. And you're not going to let a woman ask you out. And she's not going to pay. You're going to ask her out. And you're going to tell her what's up. Now, some women don't want that at all. And they'll stay. And some women cannot wait for a man to do that. Just cannot wait. Can't wait for a man to do that. Now, if you're that kind of woman who wants that, you're going to love a Muslim man. You're going to love an evangelical man who comes up and says, I'm the pastor of my household. You're going to love a Catholic man who says, it's my job to take care of my household. You're going to eat that up. You can't wait. Like that woman that we just saw. That's what she wants. So that if you're that woman, you can't wait. So that's why you see women doing it too. Because some women want those masculine men. Obviously not all do. But yeah, some women, I guess, do want to ask you out and pay and kick you out of bed. Good for you. That's not me though. So if you're when you want to ask me out, you can. I don't mind. You can ask me out if you want to. I'm fine. And you could pay a little bit if you want to. It's fine. But probably I'm going to pay and ask you out. It's probably true. I guess I'm old school. Maybe that's me. So yes. By the way, Ryan, thank you for being a member. He says, if it weren't for the Marine Corps, I'd still be lost. 100% true, brother. Me too. Me too. Yes, absolutely. So Shelley says, please explain how you're using the word evangelical because in the Roman Catholic Church, the Jesuits are an evangelical branch of the church. Yes. I am using it as the mainstream media uses it, which is a branch, usually that Pentecostal or one other branch. I forgot the other one. Some of them actually call themselves evangelical. Another one is Pentecostal, and there's one more. It's 3 sects that are considered evangelical. That is how I'm defining it. So that's why I separate it from the Catholic Church, and I separate it from other Protestant religions. By that, that's how I define it. I hope that explains how I do it. Lunatic says, monotheistic religions ruined the world. Maybe. Were the Vikings that good? Were the Romans and Greeks that good? I don't know. They were pretty rough too. So I don't know. I think people did it, but they just use this as an excuse. And let me walk down that road. When I say people did it, a lot of people are talking about the guy in New Orleans and how he was a member of ISIS. He was not a member. That's not a thing. There was nobody else involved. That's not a thing. That's government trying to get a reason to put more laws, more rules, more security, more social media censorship. That's what it's about. That's not about that. He would have been inspired by anything that wasn't mainstream. It happened to be ISIS. but it could have been anything else, right? If this was years ago, it might have been the Nation of Islam or whatever. It would have been something. Who knows what it would have been, right? Obviously, he was exposed to that and more open to it. Generally speaking, Black women are very loyal to the church. Black men, loyal, but not as much. And Black men know more people who are Muslim, right? So they're more exposed to Muslims. Women too, but women are very loyal to the Black church right now. As a general rule, obviously. I don't want the all police to come get me. But yes, general rule. So he was a Black man exposed to Islam as a Black person. I've known many Black Muslims, as I dated one. So, and also he was overseas meeting tons of Muslims and jihadists. He was meeting all of them. So obviously he went, that was what inspired him. But it would have been anything. Say there was no ISIS. It didn't exist. So he would have been a good guy all of a sudden? No. He'd have found whatever the other thing is. He'd have found whatever the bad thing is. He just found something. He did maybe become a gangbanger or something. I don't know, whatever. He did something. So I don't blame the monotheistic religions because we will use whatever we can to do the thing that we want to do. And if it happens to be the monotheistic religion, it'll be that. Right? It'll be that. I know many Muslims in America, many of them. I don't know any of them that are violent. Can you use Islam to be violent? Of course you can. Of course you can. But you can use anything, right? So you can use anything. Yes. Andrew says, men centuries ago defend the fatherland. Men today defend the fatherland in Minecraft. Yes, it's true. Or the motherland. We should be nice. I think America's a woman, right? America and Russia is women. France is a woman. Germany's a man. I think Britain's a man, right? Didn't we like assign that to people? I don't know. Anyway, who cares? Defend the land. There we go. Yes, as that famous quote goes from the movie Fury, when the special battalion is going to mount the offensive, the officer yells, "Das ist unser Land," and then tells them to attack, which is, this is our land, in German. Yes. Greg says, we are evangelical Christians at a solid non-denominational church over 20 years. Oh, there we go. My 20-year-old daughter converted to Greek Orthodox. It is just where she is at now. Christ is number one. Yeah, I mean, look, most Christians, if you are a solid Christian in your life, you're probably not going to convert to Islam. You'll convert to a different Christianity if you think that one is a better sect for you. That's what most people who are solid Christians do. Most do. If you're not a solid Christian, well, then you open Islam. Of course you are. And you might get shipped over there. So obviously your daughter thought this church isn't doing the right thing, probably because in my view, and I don't know this, you know her better than I do, but Mia from the outside, I would bet she saw the non-denominational piece as not strong enough for her for whatever reason. She wanted something stronger for whatever reason. She went, you know what? Orthodox, that'll work. That's stronger. And it is. It's a more tighter church in that regard. So yes, absolutely. All righty. Let's see here. I'm not sure if this is for me or not, Mike, because usually Mike puts at Larry, so I don't know if it's for me. Define beliefs that are not subject to whims and arbitrary elites in academia attract men. Define beliefs that are not subject to whims. Oh, defined beliefs. Thank you. Okay. Defined beliefs that are not subject to the whims of arbitrary elites in academia attract men. Yes, that's my point of cuz rules. Like, I know that seems dumb, but when you are lost, cuz rules is good. Being a Marine, Mike, you Marine too, right? Ryan's Marine. It's in the book. It's the rules and regulations in the book. So you do it. Why? Because the book said do it. Damn it. That's the reason. They wrote the field manual or they wrote the orders. There's the order. Do it. Why are you looking at me? The order says you can have 0 to 3 hair. 0 to 3. That's it. Pull the ruler out. What's your hair? 3.5. Cut it. Why? Cuz rules. Cuz rules. I completely agree with you. Yes. He says men like concrete and defined issues, goals, lives. Thus, radicalism, like religion, increases as indoctrination. Agreed? I think you're totally correct. 100%. I hope that was for me. But yes, I completely agree. Yes. Lunatic says, young men know they'll be used for another's fortune. Yes. But if they believe in the another, they don't mind. That's the difference, right? If they believe in the another, they're fine with it. In fact, they prefer it. Most men want a purpose. And if that purpose is something I believe in, they're okay with it. Yes. When I was a Marine, an active duty Marine, I should say. I'm always a Marine, but when I was an active duty Marine, I would have sacrificed my life because I believed in what the government was telling me. I believed in the system. I would have absolutely done it. I would have, yeah, agreed. Yes. So, all righty. Mike goes on to say, it's not that life is chaotic. It always was. It's arbitrariness that's the problem. Tomorrow you can be demonized for something normal you did a decade ago. Even dating is in flux, unsettling. True, but there's also something else. It has to feel like there is purpose, so that if I'm going through chaos, I'm doing it to get someplace, to do something. There's something at the end of it, right? People in general will go through all types of things, right? If they believe that there's something at the end of it, right? Chaos is fine if there's something, but chaos for chaos' sake, the hell I want that for? So, if it want to thank you for the $2, that doesn't explain why most attacks are by Muslims. Okay. The conversion and the attack, two separate things. The attack piece is clearly a foreign policy issue, right? So if you mean attacks in America or across the world, in the America piece, of course, it is vengeance and anger, of course. Right? It's an old saying that Republicans will often say. Democrats a little bit, most Republicans say this, and it's absolutely not true. They will tell you this. They'll say they hate us because we're free. Utter garbage, insanely stupid, not true at all. But I hate it all the time. Sean Hannity should say like every other day. They hate us because they don't hate us for free. They hate us because we're there. They hate us because we bombed them. They hate us because we destroyed their governments. They hate us because we crushed them. That's why they hate us. So if you're asking why so many of the attacks against Americans are from Muslims, it's because we're there. That's the reason. Ron Paul said that in 2008, and he was right then, and he's right now. And I know some of you don't like it. Too bad. I'm right. You are incorrect. That's the reason why. If we wouldn't be there, they wouldn't be attacking us. They might be attacking somebody else. Maybe. How do I know that? Because they do attack other people. They fight people. People always go, we're fighting them over there, so we're fighting over here. Also insanely stupid and wrong. If we leave, they don't fight us anymore. How do we know that? Because they don't. We've seen it. When we walk away, they fight amongst themselves. We've seen it 1,000 times. They fight amongst themselves. So walk away. They'll fight amongst themselves and figure their stuff out and whatever they want to figure out, however they want to. We fight amongst ourselves. I don't want anybody else coming in. Let people fight amongst themselves. They'll fix it. Straight Ann over on Rumble says, they hate us because we killed their father. Yes. Yes. So that's what explains the attacks by Muslims, because we started it. I know some of you don't like that. Doesn't matter. Still true. We should stop it. Walk away. That's why they hate us. Walk away. Ryan goes on to say, for Marines, regulations are everything. Yes. Yes. You are correct. I still remember the regulations, right? Of course. Yes. I remember. 100%. You're totally correct. And yes, that it made things, to Mike's point, it made things fair because we all had the same rules. So it was fair, right? I didn't let Ryan have his hair 3.5 on top and then make Mike cut his. I didn't do that. No. Everybody, 0 to 3. Everybody got a shave. Everybody has to make sure that their chevrons are equidistant. Not just me, everybody. I completely agree. Completely agree. Yes. All righty. Let me grab some of these. Oh, you guys did not like the prosperity piece. I agree with you. Yes. IC says prosperity gospel isn't true gospel. Most prosperity gospel, not all, but many of them don't even use Christian symbols. Like you can't find a cross. It's true. Shelley says the prosperity gospel is just a grift that uses God's name. And when people see that, that's the pipeline, right? Because look, to be very fair, I'm being very forward about this. A lot of the preachers in prosperity gospel are amazing preachers. Like they're really amazing. If you watch them, you're like, wow, this guy's great. Look at him. He speaks great. Oh, he's great. Oh my God, he's amazing. It draws people in. And when you're looking for something, and here comes charismatic prosperity gospel guy, I get why you go to him and you think it's great. Oh, my problem is I didn't give you enough money. That'll fix all my problems. So I start giving you all my money. And my problems don't get fixed. And I go, damn, that didn't work. That was a grift. What am I do? I go Orthodox or I go Catholic. So yes, you're correct. Yes. Shelley says, biblically speaking, prosperity is growth in knowledge and wisdom. Correct. Yes. Ryan goes on to say, I'm annoyed with the prosperity gospel. And I mean no disrespect to people here who are pro-prosperity. Same thing. I'm not mad. Look, if whatever community gives you what you need, good for you. Good for you. Whatever community gives you what you need, good for you. No issues. Not my thing. But I can respect what they do. It's amazing. Yes. IC goes on to say, Christianity has also become weaker because most are not standing on biblical principles. I think that's why they move towards that, right? They move towards more of a Catholicism or Orthodox because of that. I think that's true. Yes. James says, I've become more of a neo-Taoist, a term I've coined myself. There we go. James says, I hate that religion has become a cash cow for wealthy people to take advantage of poor people. And yet poor religious groups need donations and tithes to stay open and be a vessel of their Lord. It is tough. I agree. And that's heavily prosperity, though, to be forward. That's heavily prosperity. A lot of that is prosperity. That's all. Mr. Taz says, lots of desperate men would convert to Judaism if that particular community didn't put such a heavy emphasis on blood relations. I think there is a point to that. Yes. Judaism is similar in that regard to Eastern Orthodox, believe it or not. Judaism doesn't seek converts, right? They don't seek it. They'll take you if they think so, but they don't seek converts. Neither does the Orthodox. They don't go out there looking for converts. Most people who are Orthodox, I think it is most. Yes, I'm going to say most. Most people Orthodox. I've met many Orthodox people. They believe you are born into it. Like you are Russian Orthodox because you're Russian, right? You are Serbian Orthodox because you're Serbian. You are Greek Orthodox because you're Greek. You're born Greek, right? You are Coptic because you're Egyptian, etc. Right? You are, many of them believe that. I think many of them do believe that. So I think that that's similar. It's just easier for people to convert to Eastern Orthodox if you're already Christian. And Eastern Orthodox, to your point, they aren't as strong. Most people who are Jewish believe that being Jewish isn't just a religion, that it is also an ethnic background. It's both. And that's the difference. Eastern Orthodox people kind of think that, but not the same. It's not nowhere to the same level. That's what I was saying. That's the same level. So I agree with you. They're much more concerned about blood. And also, not just blood, but also from the mother specifically. The more hardcore Jewish you are, the more you think it is all about the mother's bloodline. So yeah, I think you're correct. I agree. So let me see here. Instant Defense says America will break Canada. You think so? Maybe. Jeremy says, hey, Larry, what's your take on Rod Dreher in regard to expenses? How would I know what that is? How would I know what that is? Hey, Jeremy, what's your take on some guy who said something? You could give me a little bit, couldn't you? Give me something. Couldn't you give me something? So, yes, Lunatic says, I found paganism from my experience in the military. Okay, there we go. Jeremy goes on to say, I've noticed a lot of overlap between New Catholic movement and post-liberalism and good common conservatism. I think you're right. And this is the thing that a lot of people aren't seeing, but there has been a change in the Orthodox community and a change in the Catholic community. Both of them have become more evangelical. Why? Because of the influx in evangelical Christians who've come into it. You're right. There has been a change. If you go back to Catholicism a couple years back, you go back either Orthodox a couple years back and look at it now, it's much more evangelical. Yes. Andrew says, having been raised in the Bible Belt, a lot of preachers and pastors my parents listened to were prosperity or semi-prosperity. Today, I'm non-denom, wishing all the best for my bros in Christ. There we go. Absolutely. James says, censorship has become one of our nation's first results to solving problems. Yes. So much for being the land of the free. Yes. Oh my God. Kim, yes. Fix our broken families first. Yes. Instant defense. Are you talking to me saying people don't like you? Do people not like me? Maybe. I don't know. Is that for me or somebody else? Somebody doesn't like somebody. I'm not sure who that's for. Put an @ if it's at me or whatever, whoever it's at. Ryan, thank you for being a member. Lima India Kiloko, yes, click the button known as like. You guys are not doing it. Why are you not doing it? I don't know why you hate me so much. Please. Also share this as I ask you every single time. Please do so. You become a member on Rumble if you want to, $49 per month. Click subscribe while I'm live only for Rumble. But for YouTube, anytime you want, just click that join button anytime, $49 per month. Keeps it going. Every little bit counts. If you want a super chat, goes right to the front. You've seen a couple people already super chat. Goes right to the front. You don't got to wait. I pop it right up. Whenever you subscribe, please subscribe. Make sure you use all notifications. And here's the best part. You can just reshare this right now on X, on Facebook, YouTube, whatever. You can just share it. Easy day. You can do that. Easy day. So simple to do. Yes. All right. Greg says, Adam B. Coleman, who you had on your show, recently got baptized as a Christian. Oh, I didn't know that. I should check it out. I haven't had him on. I haven't talked to him in a while. Yeah. Well, again, he is making changes in his life. Recently married. He's making changes too. And he's trying to make changes in his life. I can see that. It makes total sense. And he's also finding himself and his family. Yes, absolutely. Mr. Taz says, Muslim couples have 5 or more children. Arranged marriages are baked into religion. Have students in my class that were promised to each other since they were 12 years old. Yeah, and again, the second piece is I think, and this is going to sound controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think in the future, you're going to see more and more people open to arranged marriages. I think you can see it happen again. I think there's going to be a resurgence. Why? Because the dating scene is terrible. The dating scene is horrible. The dating scene is embarrassingly bad. It's broken. It's terrible. It's so bad that I think you're going to see a resurgence in that. It'll be a couple years, not tomorrow, but I agree with you. You're going to see more and more people doing that. Now, Muslim couples over the world, across the world, Christian couples aren't behind. The average Muslim couple only is about 2.6, I think 2.7, I think 2.6 kids, average across the world, not America, the world. And Christians across the world is only about 2.3, 2.4. So it isn't that big of it's a gap, but it isn't huge across the world. In America, oh my God, yes, you are correct, Mr. Taz. In America, Muslim families have far more children than Christian families do. I mean, it's like 5 to 1 or something like that. You're right. It's insane. Yes, in America, it's insane, but not across the world. So it depends who you're looking at. If you look at America, yeah, that's one of the reasons why Islam's growing so much, is conversions, and far more Muslim kids are born every year by percentage, right, than Christian kids. That's true. Yes. Nate says, I don't care what God you worship or what prophet you follow, as long as you do unto others as you have done unto you. Follow the ethics of reciprocity, golden rule. Each religion has the same morals. Yeah. Particularly if you are at Abrahamic religion. I would agree with that. Yes, particularly if you're doing that. Yes. Women love polygamy. Let me bring this up. You always give me ideas. Let me bring it. This is connected to what Mr. Taz just said. Women don't love polygamy. That's not true. They don't love it. That's not true. What they love is powerful, strong, masculine men. That's true. Most women do. Again, there's some women who don't want that. There is a percentage of women who don't want a relationship at all, who don't want men at all. Of course, it's a small percentage. Last time I checked, about 10%. But the vast majority of women want a relationship with a man. Most of them want masculine men. It's true. So what's happened in today's dating world is, to kind of say what you're saying, in today's dating world, what has happened is women have voluntarily created a harem system. I'm not joking. The most powerful men as they see, right? How women decide a powerful, valuable man, right? How they see it, whatever they see as valuable. That man, who they're all chasing, is openly dating many of them. They're in situationships or whatever they decide to call it. That's something women made up to make themselves feel better. They're part of a harem. That's what they are. Or what they call it now is a roster. They're part of a roster. It's part of that, right? And they're voluntarily doing it. They're sharing the men that they value most voluntarily, and they know it. Like it's not like he's hiding it. Like he's like, no, I date other women. In fact, I dated her, and they're like, okay. They're doing it voluntarily. Why? To my point, we have a country filled with broken men. No matter who you are as a woman, you may want the cool guy that everybody wants or not, but you don't want the broken guy. Nobody wants the broken guy. That's why he's broken. Well, if I got 8 million men who checked out, plus who knows how many million men who aren't checked out but just are broken, well, there aren't that many men left. I go back to my original point. It isn't Islam. It isn't Orthodox Christianity. It isn't terrorism. It isn't the war on drugs. It isn't, no. It's broken men. That's the key. Fix that. The other things don't matter. They go away. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, I hope that was clear. Yes. Oh, he goes on to it. Women actually testify sharing a single man is easier with multiple women, and she doesn't have to work. So that's true. Yes, they don't love polygamy. They're accepting it. It's not polygamy. It's polyamory with one man is what it is. But then some of those women are also dating other men. So some of those women are dating multiple men. Some are. Most are not, but some are. Yes. So it is kind of back and forth. IC says Western men have become sissified. I'm going to say broken. I prefer that. So there we go. Yes. Phil says that's interesting about Christianity, that there's an attraction to Catholicism, and Eastern Orthodox over weaker evangelical and mainstream Christian denominations. Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. The people who are searching for something are searching for something real. Yes. So, all righty. Ryan says Sean Hannity, aka Captain Repetitive. I know he's terrible, isn't he? Yeah, I know. I've told him more than once. But yeah, he's just every single show, like when it was during the election season, every show began, the Biden-Harris administration, blah, 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 the broken, corrupt Biden. Every show was the same show. It was, let me tell you why Biden's bad for an hour. And then once in a while, bring somebody on. Let me bring somebody on. Hey, guy who agrees with me completely on why Biden's bad, come on and tell me why I'm right. And here, boom, they tell me, yeah, that was the show. Yeah, it was terrible. So yes, I completely agree. Infinite Oneness goes, Judaism is not very encouraging towards converts. Yes, thank you for $2. That's true. Judaism does not look for converts. They don't look for it at all. Now, they will take some converts. By the way, one of the most popular ones right now is Donald Trump's young daughter, Ivanka. She has converted. She's now Jewish. And they took her, right? She wanted to convert. She got married. She married Jared. Jared is a pretty observant Jew. He's pretty observant as a Jew. I know a lot of Jews I know here in New York City, they aren't very observant at all. Jared's pretty observant. So he wanted her to convert. And I think she keeps a kosher house. I think she does. Again, converts are zealots. So I'm pretty sure she keeps a kosher house. I think that's true. So yeah. Americua over on Rumble says, I think of most as lost, not broken. Oh, I like that. Maybe lost is better. Americua. Maybe that's a better one. Maybe lost is better. I've been using the phrase broken because I want to fix them, right? I want to fix them. And maybe it's because that's how I'm seeing it. Maybe I should change the way I use that. Maybe I should instead say lost. I like that. Yeah, maybe I will do that. Yeah. Pickleball says, I think women are finding that Islam isn't actually like what we've been told through decades of demonization in the U.S. What some outsiders see as oppression, believers see as reverence. I agree. I think women are finding happiness wherever they can find happiness. And if that's Islam, good for you. Yes. Right? I think it's all good. And look, every part of what you decide in your life is going to be a sacrifice in some way. If you're saying to yourself, and again, this is your decision, not mine or the government's. If you're saying to yourself, I want a husband and a family and tradition, that's what I want. And I'm prepared to sacrifice what I had as a Christian or as a mainstream Protestant to become a Muslim and to follow those tenets to get it. Okay, you've made a decision. As long as no one's forced you, you decide, good for you. Then you become happy, go do your thing. All good. And clearly, a lot of American women, 4-1 compared to men, are making that decision. Okay, yes. Dave says, baptized in Eastern Orthodox faith 10 years after attending Orthodox church on and off for 15 years before then. There we go. Love that. Love that. Let's see here. Andrew Tate is the answer to soy boy syndrome. Let me bring up Tate. Tate is exactly the image, right? And here's the reason why. Please don't know the Andrew Tate story. He went from atheist to Christian to Muslim. Yes. And in theory, you should not. There should not be a big spot for the Andrew Tates of the world in the world, particularly in America. And if this was, say, 70 years ago, there would be no place. Why? Because fathers were in the home. Yeah, lad, but there was racism. Yes, and there were still fathers in the home 70 years ago. Black families were still together. Most black babies 70 years ago were born in wedlock. Most black men were with their families. They weren't all in jail. They weren't all broken. They weren't all trash 70 years ago. So there would be no place for an Andrew Tate because everybody's going to have their fathers and positive male role models. You don't need Andrew Tate then. He would have a very small following. But whether you like Andrew Tate or not, he is a phenomenon. I know some of you are like, what? I hate that guy. Doesn't change that fact. Why is he a phenomenon? Because he is a symptom of our broken culture. Symptom. Right? To your point, your soy boys, right? Yes, we have feminized our boys, right? And you might get mad and go, Larry, no, we have feminized our boys. That's a fact. If you don't think so, it's fine, but it's still true. Look at our education system. Our education system is feminized. 90% of people in the education system are women. It's a feminized system that breaks boys. They've written book upon book about it. You can just Google it. It's absolutely true. We feminized the hiring process. We feminized high school. We feminized college. That's why men aren't going to college anymore, relatively. We feminize everything. We feminize our institutions, right? At the top 1% of the world, clearly men run things. Clearly. But when you go under 1%, most of it's run by women. It's true. Look at it. More entrepreneurs, more executives, right? In government, school, hospitals, mostly women. All the guys who run things are women. So yeah. So we feminize a lot of stuff. So they're walking away. So he goes on to say, not Amish. My mama has 15 children. Wow. Wow. Michael says, say what you want about the tenets of socialism, the N word, but at least it's an ethos. Yes, and let me move on to the next piece you brought up, right? People are getting upset, right? We're getting people who are upset about Christian nationalism. Well, what'd you expect? Whether you like it or not, what'd you expect? Of course, it's going to be an ethos. You're right, Michael. It's going to be an ethos. It's going to be one. There's something to follow. Cam says, come on, man. As Muslims, we have people from an entire social spectrum. We have liberals, conservatives, even socialists. Agreed. I think you're talking now to me. But yeah, I agree. Look, I know lots of Muslims. I live in New York. I know lots of Muslims. And I don't know any of them that are violent. None. I mean, I'm sure there are violent Muslims because there's everything in Muslims, but I don't know any. So yeah, most of the Muslims that I know are more liberal. Why? I live in New York. So yes, I know some who are, I know a couple Muslims who are libertarians. I know a couple of libertarians who are Muslims, but most of them that I know are more liberal. But I would bet many areas you're going to find a whole lot more conservative. I know some conservatives. I know some who are hardcore. So I know some. So yes. Anyway, Jared says lots of Americans are going to Orthodoxy as well, especially in Appalachia, from what I've heard. True. That's my point. Yes. Yep. Joel says, so the NOLA guy was cosplaying ISIS? Yes, that's accurate. He was. Yep. Absolutely true. He was. So, all righty. Brian says, I heard the flag from the NOLA driver was an upside down because he couldn't read Arabic. Yeah, it's true. He didn't know any better. He was cosplaying. Yes, he was. He wasn't a member of. He was cosplaying as, because that's what he talked about. Yes. Dave says the Eastern Orthodox Church, it's not just for Greeks, Russians, and Arabs anymore. True, but it has been, right? That's the past. And also, I guess you would count Egyptians as Arabs. So yes. So yeah, I think, yeah, it used to be. That's true. You're right, though. No longer anymore. Yes. Cam says, explain why most school shootings are by white men. Same reason. Broken youngsters, right? The broken black men or young men are in gangs and going to jail, the broken white men are shooting up schools. So yes. Piggy says, it's called blowback. It's a very real thing. 100%. Yes, 100%. Andrea goes, religion also gives us a sense of belonging, which I think men are longing for that. Yes, and not just belonging, a sense of being needed. So many men feel like they're not needed. And that even goes to dating, right? You hear so many women, and I mean, so I hear it, so many women, I don't really need a man. I want a man. When a woman, and I had a woman on my show says, and I told her then, and I'm going to tell you, if you're a woman now and you're happen to be listening and you want a relationship, I'm not saying you need a man or not. I don't know what you need. But if you want to have a relationship with a man, please don't say you don't need him. Just keep that part to yourself, right? So if you really don't need a man, it's fine. You do you. But if you want that to happen, please don't say that. Don't just say nothing. You don't have to lie. I don't want you to lie. Lying is bad. Don't lie. Just say nothing. You don't have to say, I don't need a man. When a man hears that, when you say that, what he hears is, I don't respect men. That's what you didn't say that. That's what he hears. So now he has two choices. Option one, I'm going to walk away. Option two, you're hot enough for me to sleep with, then I'll walk away. That's it. Those are two choices. That's how he sees it in his head. So please don't say that if you want to have a relationship with a man. Now, if you don't, do you as you see fit. Anyway, yes, that is my point. You are correct. Men want to feel needed, valued, and needed. And in many cases in this world, they don't feel that. They don't feel it. And they check out. So yes. Brian says, for all military regulations or everything, UCMJ for the win. Yes, correct. Jared says, my family is Serb Orthodox. There we go. Yes. Well, there we go. Look, a lot of Orthodox here. Michael, Macedonian Orthodox here. There we go. Look at us all go. All right, there we go. I like that. Michael goes on to say, I thought Catholicism was some kind of generational curse. That's what you converted to. It's actually funny. Yeah, it's actually funny. Thank you for that. Yes. That's good. I never understood the mother's bloodline thing. When throughout the Torah, lineage/genealogy is done through the male line. Yeah, it has shifted. It has shifted. In fact, if you look, many people who are, many Muslims look at male bloodline. Most Jews who are more observant, they look at female. Christians tend to look female too, but it's not the same. It kind of goes back and forth with Christians in general. It depends which one you are. So yes. All righty. Let's see if I can grab here. Brian says, I converted to Buddhism while I was back in the military back in 1985. I like taking responsibility for my own actions. I don't need a deity to credit for the good things, nor a devil to blame me for the bad. Well, there we go. To blame for the bad. There we go. All good. Jeremy says, lol, Rod Dreher is a best-selling author on Orthodox. Oh, okay. There we go. He's good friends with J.D. Vance. Okay. There we go. Thank you for that. Now at least I have a clue. I'll have to check him out. Does he have like a podcast or something? I don't know what he's saying. So I will check out his podcast. Thank you, Jeremy. People often ask me, say, Larry, how do you learn stuff? People like Jeremy will say, hey, Larry, look at this. And I'll go read it, right? Some of you have sent me stuff that I've actually read. I've responded to you. I'll watch or I'll read. So I do respond to you guys. I do. Andrea says, dating sucks. Yes. I'm glad I'm married after hearing stories of my single friends. It's terrible, which is why I'm saying you're going to see people start accepting arranged marriages. That's going to start happening. 5-10 years, more open to it. More open to it. You're going to see more people because it's that or nothing, right? It's that or nothing. And at least you're going to know if it's an arranged marriage, right? If you're a woman, say, and the man actually wants a relationship. You date now, you don't know. Does he want to sleep with you? Does he want a relationship? Is he playing around? What does he want? You don't know. Well, if it's an arranged marriage, at least you know the guy wants a relationship. He wants a family. You got something. At least that. So if you can handle the guy, fine, but at least got something, right? And for the man too, is the woman serious? Does she want a relationship? Does she want traditional marriage? Does she just want you to be her? And a lot of women today, a man is an accessory. I'm not joking. A man, something she puts on her arm to show her friends. See, I got a hot one, which is fine. That's what you want. And if you're a man and you don't care because you're happy you're sleeping with her, be an accessory. No judgment. But at least if it's an arranged marriage, you know the woman wants a marriage too. At least both of you know what you both want. Better than what you're doing today. So I think more people are going to be open to this in the coming years. This is my prediction. If I'm still doing the show 10 years from now, hopefully, Andrea, you and I will do it again. I'll be like, see, I was right. Or you go, Larry, you were way off. I think that's the future. Jared says, modern dating is horrible. I'm glad I have a girlfriend, but I fear what would happen if I was single. It's so messed up. I'd probably clock out of dating. Most men are walking towards that area, Jared, and you see it. I talked about the other day. A lot of men I know are like, no thanks. I'm out. I'm not doing this. And they're not dating. As I said already, 8 million men are neat, totally checked out. And a bunch of the men are, I'm going to follow America, are lost. So yes, completely agree. Yep. Let's see. Ryan goes up. Modern day is a nightmare. Everyone knows it. It's a nightmare. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So, all right. James goes on to say, as long as people are happy, healthy, and living their best lives, it shouldn't matter what they believe or not believe at all. Well, yes, but, right? When it comes to getting married and starting a family with somebody, it's got to be compatible at least. Right? It's got to be compatible. In some ways, it's got to be compatible. Right? I don't know how that works. It can be different, but it's got to do that. Michael says, no McRib sandwiches in Ivanka's house. No, not her house. No. I mean, she might sneak one outside maybe because her dad does like McDonald's. So she might sneak one here or there, but not in her house. That's for sure. Yes. Absolutely. Phil says, there was a documentary about a housing project in St. Louis. And it said the gangs grew and there was a sense of hyper-masculinity because the housing projects wouldn't let fathers in houses. Yes. Because of our policies make this happen. Government is the problem. Shocker, a libertarian says that. Yes. Government's the problem. You can't go into public housing if you're a felon. So once you go to jail and you want to come back and meet your family, you can't. What idiot thought that was a good idea and not change it? And you can't hang around felons anymore. Well, half the people who you know are felons. So you can't go back to your family and friends. We've got to keep them out of the gangs. They go right back. Recidivism rate 70%. It doesn't work. It's stupid. It's stupid. You are totally correct, Phil. Thank you for that. Yes. Lunatic says, feminization through chemicals and food. People have said that. I don't know if that's true to be fair with you. I don't know, but I've heard that many times. I've heard it so many times that chemicals in the food, blah, blah. One of the reasons why I eat clean to the best of my ability. I've told many of you, and I'm proud to say it. I spend my money not on fancy clothes or a fancy car or a fancy watch. Nope. I spend my money on the cleanest food I can get. I'm with you 100%. I'm with you. The glass thing's intact. No. Yes and no. Yes, but it's up here now. The glass thing used to be down here. Now it's way up here. And some people get through, right? There are some women in the 1%, the Oprah Winfrey's of the world. There are some people at the top of the 1%. They do exist, right? President of Mexico is probably up there. I would say she's probably top of the world because she's surviving and she lives in a narco state. So she's probably 1% too. So I think it's cracked and some women have gone through and it's way higher. But still it's 1%. It's a small percentage of women. But they do exist. They do exist. Yes. So Ryan says, isn't there a Russian Orthodox Church? Literally, yes. That's the Eastern Orthodox Church. The Orthodox Church is that church. That's what it is. Yes. IC says, feminism has swung too far and forgotten our men and I'm female. Yes, you're correct. It has. It's gone too far. I get that women need help. 100%. I'm not sitting there saying women didn't need help. They did. They don't need it anymore. Larry, women no, they don't need it anymore. Look, if you're over 50 and you're a woman, you still went through some shit. You did. And you're still having some issues now. It's true. If you're under 30, you're good as a woman. If you're having a problem, that's a you problem. I don't mean to be mean. If you're under 30. Highest chance to get hired, highest chance to have a college degree. You make more money than your male counterpart. You have more friends than your male counterpart. Every way you would look at success, you're good. Less chance of going to jail, less chance of being in trouble. I mean, name the thing. If you're under 30, you're good. In fact, if you're under 30, you're better than men, probably, in most ways. You're probably doing better than men in everything. So, yeah, if anything, we got to start working about young boys. Young boys are in trouble now. The people who are in trouble now are young men and older women. People who are doing great now, older men, younger women. By the way, also who they're dating. It's true. Also, they're dating. Absolutely. So anyway, I'm yapping away. I just thought it was interesting. So Andrew says, respect goes two ways for both genders. Some people don't like hearing that, but it's reality. Yep. Pigboy says, ladies, find a Marine. I'm not joking. Maybe I'm biased, but not joking. I agree, ladies. Find a Marine. I think I would agree with that. So would Ryan, and so would Mike. I think we would all agree. Yes. Absolutely, yes. 100%. Jared says, funny, everyone knows modern dating is a nightmare, yet nothing's been done about it. Thank you. Jared, thank you. Yes. We're worried about now, oh, we got to check social media or we need security. No. How about more men? When I was in college, literally 30, 40 years ago, one of my anthropology teachers said something. She said she was worried about what's going to happen in China when they were adopting the one family policy. And she said, what's going to wind up happening in China is a bunch of unhappy people. And we, of course, like, well, what do you mean? Well, when they have the one child family, you're going to see them start killing all their daughters. She said this like years ago because she knew China's culture. She's like, that's culture. They're going to start abandoning their daughters, letting them die. And they're going to have a bunch of men. It's going to be a bunch of men. And when they have all these extra men, what are they going to do? What's going to happen when all these men don't have enough women? What's going to happen? They're going to start fighting each other. It's going to be bad. Nothing but problems. Yeah. You got to fix it. If you want a man to not do what these guys did in New Orleans and Vegas, they need to have wives and families who love and care about them. I'm not joking. Men who have wives and families who care about them and depend on them don't do these things. They just don't. You wouldn't have to have a law against it. Please have a law against it. But you wouldn't have to have one. Because if you had all American men being cared for and being needed by their families, they don't do this. Right? The guy in Vegas was estranged from his wife. She hadn't heard from him for days. And he was on vacation. He don't go home with his wife. She's estranged. She's probably sleeping with somebody else. I'm not joking. She's probably sleeping with somebody else. They're already estranged. He didn't care. He didn't have kids. Didn't care. The other guy, 2 marriages, destroyed in family court, bankrupt. He didn't care. The people who do this believe they have nothing to lose. So you're right, Jared. Give men something to lose. And they won't do this. It's literally that simple. Give men something to lose, and they won't do this. It is literally that simple. Brian says, I'm turning 64 in a few days. I opted out dating 30 years ago. Yep. Yes. You're not alone. I hear it all the time. Piggyback says, lol, the mental image of Ivanka sneaking around to hook down to McRib is cracking me up. Yeah, she's going to hang out with her dad. Hey, Jared, I'm going to go hang with my dad. We're going to do some political stuff. Over to the drive-thru. Absolutely. Yes. My friends make fun of me because I always say the government's going to solve all our problems. Because it's right. Yes. Because it's right. Yes. So there we go. Phil says, I've always looked for someone to date in the church. Oh, yeah. You can really tell a lot about a woman by how she treats children in the church. It's not about if she wants children, but if she's kind. Oh, I like that idea. I like that idea. The idea of looking for how the woman treats children. Phil, that's really smart. If she treats children well, she's probably kind. The odds are probably good. I like that. There we go. Kim says, we gave women an inch in the 80s. It took a mile, went to their head. That's funny. I will bet a lot of women would disagree with you, but I get it. Yes. Ryan says, Larry, thank you for this video. The NFL is so horrible to watch anymore. I nearly fell asleep. Oh, I appreciate that. So he says, far more narcissistic people out there today, both male and female. Shelley, you have hit something that's important. Thank you for saying that. I wish I thought of it. This is a little bit off topic, but This goes to what they're doing. Think about this. If either one of those guys who did what they did in New Orleans and Las Vegas were just unhappy, just sad and happy and want to self-delete, they could have just gone into a hotel room and done the job, right? They could. That was a choice they had with either a firearm or with pills or with a rope. They could have done that job if they wanted to, but they didn't. To your point, they decided to make a spectacle and to harm others in doing so. You are correct. Even in that, we see it with men trying to be tough guy. We see it with women online with their Instagrams and with their TikToks, right? I have to, if I told them, I have to ask them, do you have a TikTok? Do you have an OF? Like, there's people who you have to ask that question now. So yes, I think you're right. We are far more narcissistic, both men and women. You're totally correct. And it's hurting us. It is hurting us. Yes. Shelley says, I buried 2 husbands. Oh, I'm sorry, Shelley. Not looking to bury a third or having him bury me. But truth be told, I miss having male friends. Sure. Yeah. She goes on to say, the COVID lockdown kids are going to have a hard time. The lockdowns made everything worse. Christine says, YouTube has removed all of my messages. Christine, YouTube does whatever it wants. I'm sorry for YouTube. My team and I are going to have a chat next week. We're going to have a chat next week. And what do you think about what we're going to do about this? Because YouTube has recently been good with views for me. But man, they're tough to be on. They make it hard. Do I just make a shift over and just do Rumble? Is that what I do? I don't know. We're going to talk about it. But yes, YouTube is a pain. It's why I have to do what I do all the time. Yes, I have to constantly do this all the time. Yeah. IC says, YouTube is the only social media I do. A lot of people, that's it. That's why I'm on YouTube. A lot of people, it's the only thing they do. Yes. 100%. Yes. So Shelley was going to say, you can learn a lot about people by holding their hand. Do they lead you around? Do they follow you around? Or does a discussion take place about where to go? Ooh, I like, you guys are thinking. These are 2 good ones. Guys, listen to what Shelley and Phil are telling you. Listen to what they're telling you. They're right. These are good things. I like that a lot. Look at that. I do like that. That's amazing. Guys, since we're talking about Rumble and such, do me a favor. Click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Please click the like. Hit it, smash it, whatever. Nose, eyeball. I don't care what you use. If you haven't already, please share this or repost this someplace. Repost it on X, share it in Facebook, whatever the case may be. Please subscribe. Every subscribe matters. I actually lose subscribers on YouTube all the time because, again, YouTube decides you're a bot and you unsubscribe. So I lose subscribers on Larry's YouTube every month. Like, I literally go down every month. So, guys, please resubscribe if you have already. And if you haven't already followed me on Facebook, X, and Rumble, all of them. Click all notifications, obviously. Super chats go right to the front as always. Thank you for all the super chats, guys. I appreciate all of them. You can become a member. I bug you guys for membership for 2 reasons. 1, it's the easiest way to just keep this going. So I like memberships. Plus, membership shows that the channel's popular, right? That's part of the algorithms. It shows the channel's popular. People like it, they care, right? When you have a large chunk of following and very low members, like, okay, maybe he's not real. So YouTube loves that. Mr. Rhythm loves that. You know that guy? His first name is Al. His middle name is Gore. His last name is Rhythm. Yes, absolutely. So please do that. You can also become a member of Rumble if you want to. You have to click subscribe, though, only when I'm live, and not the join button, the subscribe button, separate button. Got to do that one if you want to do that on Rumble. So please, if you can jump on that, that would be amazing. If you can afford to throw me some cash, please do so. If not, no worries. Clicking the like button is free. Yes, all free. There we go. Kim said, we'll follow you on YouTube. Yes. Ryan says, if you don't click the like button, then you love Disney Star Wars. Okay, no one loves Disney Star Wars. Like, nobody does. Like, nobody does. Yes. Shelly says, always check to see if you're still subscribed. YouTube saying subscribers. Yes. Jennifer says, hey, all. The attacks recently seem like psyops. Way too on the nose. No one's born in Texas, gets fresh with life and joins whatever. Sorry. Or no. He didn't join. That's the point. And it's not a psyop. It's not. There's, again, What the government keeps doing and putting out there is everything to avoid the most important piece. Lost lost men. That's, yes, a system that crushes men. We send them overseas, expose them to horrible stuff. They come back with PTSD and TBI. The system screws them over. Their wife has left them. That's what happened to the one guy, and the other guy has an estranged wife. Their wife leaves them. They go to family court, get their ass kicked. The VA doesn't help them, and now they're bankrupt. They can't get their licenses. The other guy got his license taken away by the court. All that happens, and they go, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. And they find the most negative thing, and sometimes it's ISIS. Sometimes it is that. They find the most negative thing, and they act accordingly. And to Shelley's part, they're narcissists like the whole country is, and they're not just going to delete themselves. They're going to actually punish others and go out in a blaze of glory. So it makes total sense. It is absolutely not a psyop. It is absolutely just broken men, and they'd rather you think it's a psyop. It's a psyop. It's the government doing something bad, or it's the terrorist guys across overseas. We gotta be scared. None of that's true. We have a broken culture. That's what this is all about. That's why I said, that's why the whole thing's about people converting. People in America are converting to Islam, Orthodox Christianity, Catholicism, and evangelical Christianity faster than they've ever done. And as I mentioned, women more than men for Islam. Why? War on terror, war on drugs, broken culture, broken society. Those are the reasons why they're doing it. Well, I forgot who mentioned it. Talk about the idea that, hold on, let me find, where was it? It was, Infinite Oneness says, he talks about the idea of people who convert to Islam do it because they don't want all the things. If you want all the things and items, you just stay in American culture. It's all about that. That's what we're about. You don't need Islam for that. Just go get the things, right? Or you join prosperity gospel. Either one, right? You one of those two. So that's what you just do. You're joining it because it's broken. Because you're broken. Because you don't like it. That's the issue. You want purpose and you want clarity and you feel lost. I'm being good using lost, right? Yes, and you get lost. That's the piece. And I think that's the most important piece, right? Ryan says it, VA is a sick joke. Yes. Phil says a lot of soldiers self-delete in the parking lot of the VA. Yes, it's tragic. Yes, they delete in the parking lot of the VA. Yes. I'm just saying, it's not a psyop. And it's not, he wasn't part of them. He watched them like on videos and then did stuff. That's what he did. Probably went on, like, I don't know, maybe went on Telegram or something, wherever he went on. He went on something. And he watched them and then did what they said on their videos. That's what he did. He wasn't a member. It's terrible. I yapped away. Guys, I will not be on tomorrow. I'm taking up tomorrow off. I'm changing my mind. But I'm taking tomorrow off. I will not be on tomorrow. I will be on Monday, of course. And Tuesday at 1, my regular radio show I will be on. I'm not sure what I'm doing on Monday yet. And I will be producing probably tomorrow or Monday. I'm going to put out my request will come on the show. I already posted what I'm doing. I haven't posted yet, but no, I've decided. Shouldn't post it. I decided the members guest show will be January 27th. So about 3 weeks from now will be the show. About 3.5 weeks from now will be the show for members to come on. I will be asking members if they can make it. That will be awesome. I would appreciate you guys to come on. I'll get 3 of you, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. We'll just chat, and maybe there'll be some people will insult you in the chat. Could be that. We'll see, guys. Once this is over, please do me a favor. Put in the chat. Put in the chat what you think about dating. That's a good one. Put in the chat what you think about either the future dating or current dating. What do you think about dating? Please put that in the chat after this is over. I will see you all very soon.